A new phase in the impeachment of President Donald Trump. The testimony televised for the American people to hear. Top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, Bill Taylor, told Congress President Trump leveraged key aid in a White House visit for Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and his son. Senior State Department official George Kent also testified today, sharing that the president was looking to dig up dirt on his potential rival. Lee Conklin sat down tonight with a local expert to help break down today's hearing.
And with political science chair at the University of Toledo, Dr. Sam Nelson. Dr. Nelson, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. All right, day one of the impeachment inquiry as it plays out in front of the country and the world. Your take on it, as much as you got to see.
I think that a lot of the information that we saw today are things that we've read about from depositions from the closed-door hearings, but now we're seeing it. We're seeing the people who are giving us the information. We can make our own evaluation a little bit about how we feel about them and their credibility.
And how did it play? How do you think it played from a visual standpoint?
Visually, you know, they've gone into the Ways and Means Committee hearing room, which is one of the kind of really impressive spaces in Congress. I think it really lays out classic hearing with all the gravitas and everything that's associated with that.
Did anyone move the needle to perhaps sway the public in any way, or is this a case of it's more of what Democrats feel and more of what the Republicans feel?
Well, all impeachments are pretty partisan affairs, and so it's going to be hard to move the needle, but I think this is an opportunity to reach voters and people in the public who haven't been paying as close attention, because now they can watch it, they can see it in a lot of different places. Stuff will go around on social media, local news, and other venues. But Democrats and Republicans have really different goals in this hearing. They're not both up to the same thing here. I mean, Democrats are trying to lay out a case to the public and persuade people about the facts, and I think Republicans are just working to activate their base, hold Republicans together in support of the president.
Kent and Taylor said to be very credible witnesses. Did you see in any way that the Republicans made some inroads in perhaps hurting their cases a little bit?
I think the main thing that they were able to do was show that these two witnesses have not talked to the president directly, that they're talking about things that they've heard or that they've learned, but not things that they directly participated in. Other witnesses may speak more to those kinds of things.
The so-called bombshell, the new phone call that emerged from the hearing today, your thoughts on whether that could have an impact going forward?
I think that's very important because it ties the president directly to what's going on. It's very difficult to say that the president wasn't involved or that it was all Rudy Giuliani or something like that if the president's making phone calls saying, hey, how are the investigations going, if he's following up on the famous phone call that we saw the rough transcript of.
If you're President Trump, and he said earlier he didn't watch, but if you're President Trump, were you pleased with how his people came to bat for him today? Jim Jordan was
doing it Trump style. So I think that is what the president wants to see. Whether it's going to be good for the president or not, I think is a much longer question. It's going to take a while to see that, but I think this is what he wants to see.
And your thought on this Friday's testimony and going into next week now?
There are a lot of important witnesses coming up. We know what they're going to say, but again, there may be other bombshells, there may be other new information. There'll be 3 Republican witnesses who we have not heard from before, so we don't exactly know what they may add to the mix of information that we have.
All right, Dr. Sam Nelson, we appreciate it very much, lending your expertise from the University of Toledo tonight.
Thank you.